Hey everybody, it is Monday morning, and as usual I come in here and I get my waterfall tank lit up first, and that kind of gives the rest of the room a little bit of time to just have some light shining on everything, and it's not so sudden for everybody else in the room when morning time comes. So as I came back in to get the rest of the lights turned on, I noticed that I've got a bunch of wet cloth down here. And I've got a bunch of water sitting in here. You can actually see when I push on it and squeeze it, it squeezes some up and out. So I've taken a rag and I've tried to absorb some of the water and soak it out of there, but it just keeps coming back. Now that could be because the whole entire bottom edge of it is full, or possibly it is still continuing to leak a little bit. You can see how far down the water level is. So I'm not entirely sure what to make of this. This is a new aquarium. Or it's fairly new anyway. I bought it for this project, so it was new 6 months ago or 9 months ago. So the other possibility is that I'm just getting splashing, and as the splashing's hitting the rim, it's just dripping down and running down the front. But if that's the case, it's doing it an awful lot, because I'm seeing water all the way over here, and this is all wet. And of course, all of this is wetness in the carpet, so enough of it's, it's significant is what I'm saying. There's a lot of water in that. It doesn't seem like it's damp from just having a few little splashes against it. I mean, you can see the water splashes all over the place. I've got, droplets of water on the leaves down here. There's droplets of water on the leaves over here, so the water does splash around. And I guess if it's going to hit the face of the glass and drip, that's where it would collect. But it still seems like an awful lot of water in there for that short a period of time. And I just did a water change on this tank the day before yesterday. And I find it hard to believe in roughly 36 hours I've gotten that much evaporation in my basement. It's not exactly a really warm environment down here. Although with all these fish tanks, it actually is. It usually pushes about 78 degrees down here. So maybe that is partially from evaporation. Maybe it's partially from splashing. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on whether or not that continues. I'm even considering simply disconnecting the hose from the waterfall so that the water continues swirling around in the tank, providing for aeration for the fish. But if I shut the waterfall down for a few hours, get everything dried up, and then wait and see, and if I keep getting moisture at that point, then I will know without a doubt that I've got a leak in this tank somewhere. And I'm really not looking forward to the first time I have to deal with a leaking tank. I've had tanks leak in the past, but it was broken glass on the bottom. It was a 10-gallon tank, and then I had another 10-gallon tank way back when I first started. I wound up killing a bunch of puffer fish because I had them in a 10-gallon tank, and when I moved it, it had been sitting on a dresser. And sometimes when something sits on a dresser that's got like varnish or something on it for a while, it tends to stick to it. Well, that happened, and I just kind of gave it a bang and shoved it a little bit, and I think when I did that, it might have popped one of the seals a little bit. And the next morning when I came down, the tank was still in the position I had moved it to, but it didn't have any water in it, and it had a bunch of dead fish in the bottom, and I had a bunch of mess to clean up. So other than that, I've not had a large tank actually just start leaking on me. I have seen that happen to other people, and I have had it explained to me that eventually all tanks will leak. That silicone in the corners will start to degrade, and eventually your tank will start weeping, water out of the seams. And again, knock on wood, I have not had that happen to me yet, unless this is what's happening now. Although, as I said, this is not an old tank, and that's why I brought that up. I don't think I'm getting a leakage just from the age of this tank. So unless something's happened, I don't know what would be causing this tank to suddenly start leaking like this. So I don't know. Again, I'm not really going to call it a leak just yet. I'm going to keep my eye on it and see what's happening. But I just wanted to throw that out there because that is, this is potentially something significant that might be happening here in the fish room. If I've got to break this tank down to get that thing resealed, that's just going to be a nightmare. I'm not looking forward to doing that at all. Honestly, if that were the case, I would probably just break this tank down, buy a new one, and replace it or something. That would probably be easier. I'd have to wait till the next $40, dollar a gallon sale or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just just found out about this, just kind of thinking out loud. Don't really know what I'm dealing with yet, so we'll just leave it at that and go from there. So make sure you're subscribed and you won't miss any of the updates I got. Check out these two guppies competing for who's the prettiest. So, alright everybody, make sure you're subscribed, that way you won't miss any of the unfolding saga of my water tank here, or my waterfall tank rather. And hope to see you, I'll see you on the next one.